What is going on, everyone? Several brand new Black Ops 7 images have just leaked from an internal developer playtest, and a lot of people have been speculating if this leak was intentional, because sometimes they probably do intentional leaks here or there just to make people even more excited for the game without officially marketing anything. But these images are pretty cool. Let's just show them off here. We're going to break them down little by little. This first image here has a lot to unpack, but the description at the bottom reads, "New mode Overload. 2 teams of 6 players each fight to control a neutral EMP device that must be delivered to the enemy HQ for score. Reach the score limit and claim victory by delivering multiple EMP devices." Now, a lot of people were assuming that this might be Uplink, because Uplink has already been rumored to be in this game, which it probably will end up being in this game, but this actually might not be for Uplink. It actually sounds more like Cyber Attack, which was in the recent Modern Warfare games. The description sounds very similar to Cyber Attack, so it might end up being that, but both the modes have a similar concept to it, so maybe it could be either one. It really doesn't matter. There's also another image that says Skirmish 20v20, 2 teams of 20 fight to complete objectives across a large map, capture points of interest, destroy payloads, and transmit valuable data to score. Use your wingsuit to flank and reach objectives before your enemy. The first team to reach the score limit wins. So these are the only 2 modes that we heard in this leak, at least when it comes to new modes other than stuff like Team Deathmatch and Domination. And this mode seems pretty awesome. I've been really looking forward to seeing more big team battle type modes, because we haven't seen those in Black Ops 6 at all. Black Ops 6 hasn't had any ground war type modes in their game, and I do enjoy them from time to time. I don't like it when it takes away development time from 6v6, but as long as they're just using locations from the Warzone map and they're not spending too much time making these giant maps that will take away from 6v6 content, then I'm completely fine with it. I think it definitely could be fun, and the idea of using your wingsuits in this mode sounds like a lot of fun. It might be like our version of Blackout, but within this 20v20 mode, and it could be a lot of fun. Now let's take a look at the guns that we see in each of the images. So in this first image here, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what these guns might be, but the one on the left kind of looks like the Cordite from Black Ops 4. It also kind of looks like the M27 from Black Ops 2, and it also kind of looks like the HRM9 from Modern Warfare 3 2023. So it could be a mix of all 3 of these guns, or maybe it's a prototype of one of those guns, maybe a prototype of the Cordite. That could be pretty interesting. I definitely want to see a lot of Black Ops 4 guns in this game. I think that would be really awesome. But in general, it looks like a pretty cool gun. I don't know if it has a skin on it or if that's just the color of it, but it could be a skin for all we know. Then the gun on the right looks very similar to the Brecci from Black Ops 3. It's likely some kind of shotgun, probably a semi-automatic shotgun, and it might end up being the Brecci of this game. I mean, this might be our first look at the meta weapon in Black Ops 7 Zombies. If we're being honest, it probably will be. The next image here shows a gun on the right that looks very similar to the Echo Hawk dual bore from Black Ops 4, which was this very odd assault rifle that shot very strangely, but it was a really cool weapon, and if that's actually returning, that is really, really cool. Again, like I said before, I want as many Black Ops 4 guns in this game as possible. It's very close to Black Ops 4, so it makes sense we would have a lot of guns from that era, and of course, we're probably going to see a lot of Black Ops 2 weapons as well, and this hopefully is that, because like I said, it's a pretty cool weapon. That's pretty much all when it comes to the guns, but when it comes to score streaks, we do have a look at a few of the score streaks in this game. In this first image on the left, you can obviously see an RCXD. I would be very surprised if that doesn't end up being the RCXD of this game, but then that begs the question, in the teaser trailer for Black Ops 7, there was a little drone thing that kind of looked like it could have been this game's version of the RCXD, but obviously that looks very different than what we see in this image. So does that mean this is going to be a separate score streak or separate piece of equipment in the game? Then I realized it actually looks very similar to the shock drone from Black Ops 4, which was a specialist equipment for Tempest. So maybe the shock drone is going to return as a piece of equipment, which would be kind of crazy. I know a lot of people hated that thing, but it would be kind of interesting as a piece of equipment. If they bring back Pick 10, people are going to be less inclined to use equipment, and so it's going to cost you a lot more to use a piece of equipment, because obviously you could get more perks or more attachments instead of using that equipment. So less people will probably use it, and when they do use it, they're getting less on their class otherwise. So that could be pretty balanced if we end up getting a piece of equipment like that would end up being probably pretty powerful. In this next image, we have one of those robot dog looking things, and this definitely looks like multiplayer gameplay, which gets me very excited because it means this thing will probably end up being a score streak, which is really, really cool. I'm very hopeful that it's going to be AI controlled, so you don't have to control it yourself. I really want there to be a streak that you can just call in and it could just go around the map and just kill a bunch of people. Or if you want to control it yourself, maybe you can have the choice to do that. But it just looks really, really awesome. There's also something on the left right next to this score streak, but it's really hard to tell if it's a score streak or if it's just part of the map. It kind of looks like it's just a part of the map. It does look like some sort of robotic vehicle, but it looks so big that it's probably just part of the map environment itself. It does kind of look like this tank thing that we saw in the Black Ops 7 teaser, but like I said, I don't think this is going to be a score streak just because of how big it is. It would be really cool if it was, but it might just be a part of the environment. I hope that it actually plays a role in the map, though. I think it'd be pretty cool if you can go inside of it and kind of use it as a tank, but not something that you can actually move around. Maybe it's stuck in the ground and you could only go in it to like shoot forward or something like that. I think that'd be a pretty interesting interactive map feature. I think maps in Call of Duty need more interactive features like that, but like I said, I don't think it's a score streak, even though I would love for it to be. And one of the biggest things everyone is talking about right now is that this one guy in this image kind of looks like he has an Exo Suit on. Everyone's been pointing that out. They're wondering, why is there an Exo Suit in this game if they just recently announced that there will not be jetpacks or advanced movement in this game? There might be wall jumping. There was leaks that we might get some sort of wall jumping movement, but there isn't supposed to be double jumping whatsoever. So why does this guy look like he has an Exo Suit? And honestly, I think it's probably just futuristic gear. I don't think just because it looks like an exosuit that it has to be an exosuit. Is it possible that exosuits were planned for this game and this is just leftover cosmetics that were just in the game? Maybe, but I honestly doubt it. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. I really do think that's just what this character's gear looks like. He probably has some sort of bionic suit that just looks cool and it probably doesn't do anything functional in the game itself. I don't think this is a jetpack. I don't think this means jetpacks are coming. It just looks kind of interesting, but I get why people are assuming it might be exosuits because yes, it does kind of look like an exosuit. And that's pretty much all there is to these images. They look great in my opinion. I'm definitely happy with how it looks. I am a little bit worried that the game as a whole might not have enough color to it because these images don't really have a ton of color. They do kind of have that more gray color that a lot of the recent Call of Duties have been going with for majority of their maps, but I do hope that a lot of the maps in the game are just shining bright with color, and I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of crazy skins later down the line that are going to have a lot of color to them anyways, but I'm totally fine with how these look on their own. It does have a cool futuristic aesthetic to it. Even just looking at the characters and how they're designed, they look pretty cool. I'm definitely glad that they are going pretty far with the futuristic aesthetic. It's not just like near future. This kind of looks like a bit further future, not too far, but still decently far, and that's definitely something I'm happy about. Hopefully you all enjoyed. I will see you on my next one. Peace out.